Well, there are multiple concerns, not least that it's a 36-page document. We've got 17 days till the vote. It's of enormous significance. There are measures that it's being presented in the press that it's really the most limited option internationally. It's just going to catch us up with many humane parts of the world. Canada's often cited. We should remember, Mike, that in Canada, the so-called MAID, the MAID proposal, originally, the initiative initially came out with lots of safeguards as well. And we've seen the very slippery slope and incremental increase of people being incorporated in that is being said wouldn't happen here. Now, the big concerns, Mike, and what we're saying it together is, look, this is obviously a very sensitive issue. It's very emotive. People have very deep concerns about it on all sides, understandably. Many of us have all been in these situations. But we need to thrash these issues out. We need to have it properly discussed and debated, and we're calling for a referendum. Now, we know there's a vote on the 29th, so we're saying before that vote, everyone should tell their MPs that they would like this to be debated properly with the public and they all want to have a say on it, that we need to thrash out the issues. There's all sorts of concerns. We've seen do not attempt to resuscitate, particularly during the COVID period, that were really rampant. We've seen a situation where a big discussion about bed blockers, older people being a strain on resources, the net zero discussion. There's just too many people, too many old people who are not productive making money. What about the vulnerable, the frail? Many people who are disabled have significant concerns about this. You know, at what point does the question of me being a burden become part of this? Now, they say, you know, you have to have 2 doctors and a High Court judge. But if you contextualise all of that, we could be talking anywhere between 4,000 and 8,000 requests a year for the judge. We know that, you know, you have one doctor who may be an advocate of this. By the way, although they're saying it's illegal to try and coerce anyone to do it, this doctor can suggest it to someone who hasn't considered it. You can get a second doctor, but there can be people that you can then not use and you have someone else till you get someone you like. One of the concerns is, Mike, how do you know what 6 months is? 6 months or less till you die. That's the criteria. I've got a very close friend whose mother they were saying, well, this is it. Just recently, that's it. You know, we got to go for the end. And he said no, and he challenged it, and she's still with us a year later. What does 6 months mean?
And that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Happens a lot. Consistently. And also, people think if I have a condition, I couldn't bear to be in this situation, but then they change their mind about those situations as well. Look, nobody wants to see people suffer. The question about palliative care is essential as well. The question about the service in the NHS. We know that we've got a situation that because of the situation in the NHS, the whole question about how people are treated, the Liverpool Care Pathway, which was supposedly stopped and banned in 2014, is still in use, where you kind of accentuate and you speed up death with people. All these things have significant concerns and questions for many people, not just people of faith, but across the board, people who think life's important and we should be able to maintain it. The NHS, the role of the NHS and health should be to keep us healthy and keep us alive. Now, you know, as I say, people can have many views on this. I think there are still a lot of MPs, you know, it's a free vote, but there has been some whipping, even though they're saying there's no whipping. What we're saying is we've got calls to action going out today. We want the MPs to be put on notice that this is essential. We need more time for the public to be engaged in this, not just to be imposed on us. We should have a referendum. And on Wednesday, the 20th of November, we've got a big online debate and discussion on this to go through this in a bit more detail. But, you know, this is of grave concern because we get into a situation where people just seem like they're in the way or we've got too many people or they're bed blockers or we haven't got the resource. Or, you know, it has to be said, sometimes some families have got concerns with wills and things like that. A whole range of issues that nobody really wants to talk about. They want to say it's just about being compassionate. But we know that when you pass a law or you make something in place, all of a sudden, questions about decisions and where that goes often change.
Yes, I think that's right. And I mean, maybe we might be better off just leaving things as they are. And I know that that's led to some people being questioned by police in situations, which is never good when you know, these kind of tragedies occur. But nobody, to my knowledge at least, has been prosecuted ever for helping somebody to die.
I think the thing is that we've got you know, this is the other thing. There are many people I've been in this situation, both in the hospice movement, which is very important in Britain, and also doctors and frontline workers who are in almost totality very, very considerate and always thinking and discussing in a personal situation with families where they can. One of the problems, though, has been where you don't have enough of that. But absolutely, we've got a situation where there is compassion already, and when you formalise something legally, you set a whole new precedent, and it's very dangerous, and that's what the concern is. So we encourage everyone to actually get involved in this, actually think about these issues, the ramifications, what it could mean for everyone, and actually let your MP know and say, let's have some more time. If it's so fundamental and absolutely clear, and we know that the choice of that someone really being helped to die, was what we're talking about, being given something that they can then kill themselves, that's fundamental, particularly when the state's involved with a law. And let's thrash this out. Let's have a proper public debate and let the public decide with a referendum.